So hello everyone. One more bit of information before we let you all go out to morning tea. So it is coming, just wanted to make that announcement. It's great to be here with you all and to see so many of you joining us in person at our annual event. This is the first one for me, and I don't know any of you have joined us before, but I hope that this is as successful or more than the ones before. Here, I'm excited to have a great conversation with you all about membership and thank our board and Ross for setting us up in such a great way. They actually touched on a couple of points that I'm going to make, so that's really good help. Thank you all for that. I'm Yadira Hurtado, the Director of Member Engagement for APSCA. I'm here to talk to you about my role, a couple of points, what we currently have for member numbers, and some upcoming goals for the next year, with the intention of better addressing our members' needs. However, most importantly, it is to take this great, unique opportunity to be with you all in person and to remind you all that our members and supporters are really important to us and that our goal at APSCA for our membership team is to continue learning, improve our process, and provide the best support that we can to you all. In my role specifically, I have the important opportunity to support our members as they navigate through their APSCA journey, whether they are at their initial step of application phase or newly welcomed into our membership with APSCA, as well as supporting our auditors and the membership decisions that we undertake internally. I support our internal teams to determine whether the auditors have the capacity and the competency to join us as ASCAs. And so I will say that in summary, my overall role is to guide, inform, and support. And I'll work with that as I go on my first year in this role. And this is a new role, I should also mention that. And it's the commitment from APSCA to also have more clear communication channels with our members. So I wanted to mention that as well. And it's not working. The clicker. Oh, there we go. Another important role I have is, and I take very seriously, is representing APSCA and our members at various industry events, conferences and meetings, engaging with others in our profession and making sure that we are part of those important conversations. It was mentioned by our board, and we are taking the initiative to be more involved in those conversations in the industry. And taking those opportunities to highlight the value of APSCA membership, which is what I'll start talking about now. You know, when APSCA was first created, it became clear that it does have a unique place in the industry, and that was intentional, right? Everybody saw that as the board talked about, the brands asked for it, firms started joining the board, and APSCA was created. So now we're at a point where the storytelling comes into place, as the board mentioned, right? Going out there, communicating with all of our stakeholders, and where those various stakeholders can come together and hold important industry conversations, we want to be there. And we hope that happens this week, right? To have those important, engaging conversations as well. It's important to have that space, the unique engagement that we have, and APSCA can create that space for us. So as the board has already mentioned, you know, there are different categories here for the value that APSCA membership can bring, right? And that's what I'll talk about a little bit now. The first one is quality. You know, audits conducted by APSCA member firms and APSCA certified auditors add an additional layer of validation to the quality, consistency, and credibility of social compliance audits. And the second one is really important. You're going to hear that comment or that theme, I think, a lot, and you'll start noticing that we did that intentionally in our agenda to have those kind of golden threads throughout. One of them having the collaboration, right? The theme of collaboration, stakeholder engagement. Craig made a good comment about that, like when you hear that, but what does it really mean? So the panels that we have created for you all hopefully touch on that. One of the value added here is the collective improvement, right? By choosing APSCA certification, the member firms are committing to collaborate, to have the collective improvement, both at the individual auditor level and also the macro industry level, right? And we touched on that already as well, and that will be part of some of the panels that we have coming up for you as well. And then resources. I mentioned that I joined APSCA this year. I was really impressed and surprised when I realized how many resources we actually have for auditors specifically. Exam practices, study guides, And I thought, well, more people need to know about this. I knew about APSCA, I knew what it was intended to do, but when I joined APSCA is when I really realized the wealth of knowledge that is there. And that's another thing that you'll hear from many of us today, is that we're committing to communicate that better, right? To make that available for everybody. And the next one would be future-proofing. The goal is that by becoming an APSCA certified member firm, firms are committing to a future where all social compliance audits are conducted by qualified, experienced, and trusted auditors. And this gives companies a more complete picture of risks and enabling stronger, more resilient supply chains. Competency was also mentioned already, and that could have a lot of different designations, right? For the auditors, for the member firms, and coming from membership, that's the commitment I have, right, to both of our members, auditors and member firms as well. We support audit firms that rely on the expertise of social compliance auditors by ensuring confidence in individual competency and professionalism. And then also maintain that trust by requiring the member firms and auditors to comply with our competency framework and our code of conduct as well. And then the last one, industry collaboration. We're partaking in that this week and in our event. And again, holding that space to have multiple stakeholders come together. And in my role, as well as, I mentioned going out to these events and having those conversations with people in the industry. And it's so much more important now than ever as we grow and scale as APSCA, but then also the different changes that are coming up in our industry. And as I mentioned, the growth of APSCA, we have had steady growth in our membership since the creation of APSCA, and even from the time I put this slide together, this information has changed, and I love that. I love to see that because it means that our numbers are going up. So here you see that we had 2,931 CSCAs, and that 82 countries relates to that, in 82 countries. However, we now have 2,939, and is 83 countries for CSCAs. For ASCAs, we have 2,232, and overall, our auditors are in 105 countries. So that's amazing. And talking about that, I also would like to thank all of those that are joining us virtually, that are taking the time as well to join us. And also, I would like to take this moment to give a special congratulations to those new CSCAs that we have in the audience. I know for a fact that we have some of them, so I wanted to give a special shout out to them. You should all, be very, very proud of that accomplishment. And you join a special group. Auditors that are committed to upholding the integrity and professionalism of our social compliance industry. And I know I speak for our whole team at APSCA and our board when I say that we hold that in high regard. And personally, as a previous auditor, I really understand that as well. I think once an auditor, always an auditor, and I really hold that in high regard. As we discuss these numbers, and new member auditors, it's also important to remind you all, though, that our member auditors also have expectations and responsibilities, right? So aside from the member firms, we also expect you to be up to date on all our policies, procedures, and to uphold our code of conduct, because that really is what's essential to have a successful membership with APSCA. And just a final note here for auditors, it's at the bottom. We had 503 auditors enrolled in 2023. And 480 thus far in 2024, with more to come. By the end of the year, I really think that's going to go up. We have, as you can imagine, have been very busy with this event, but we have some that are on deck to be added, and I know that that number is going to go up by the end of the year. So as we move along here with membership, now member firm growth, a bit of historical APSCA trivia here. We had 9 founding firms at the onset of APSCA. And I verified this with board members, so that's an accurate number. As we have continued to grow membership, we have now reached 68 firms, and that's inclusive of both provisional and full members. As we welcome more and more new members to APSCA, we also want to ensure that our members continue to be great examples of integrity, that they have the good intentions to further the industry, and that they have the capable skills as an organization as well as the auditor team, right? So whenever I talk about members, just think that it's interchangeably with our auditors and our member firms. It's a collective, right? And so it's important that both of them are very clear in what the expectations and responsibilities are. And to that end, we make sure that the provisional member period is well understood by our members, or at least that's our goal, and we will make changes to improve that in the coming year. And to be used strategically. It really is a great opportunity to ramp up to the full membership expectations. It may be that during that provisional time, some things come up, some gaps in operations, or otherwise. And in the coming year, we have several projects that aim to provide more clarity and resources around those expectations, specifically a collaboration between membership and our internal reporting and compliance team. And what we want to do is work in tandem to best support our firms in the APSCA journey. Please remember that we want you to be successful, and that's really our intention. And so when we have those constructive comments coming to you, it's because of that. And we really want to partner with you to improve that and take the opportunity of that provisional time that I think is valuable so that you're better prepared as a firm and we can go on to full membership after that. Some numbers here on the right-hand side. You'll see 11 for 2023 for new member firms that joined, and then 4 so far for 2024. We did have a little bit of a pause in the middle of this year, but we're ramping up to catch up now, and so we'll see that number increase as well by the end of the year. And then as we look forward to what's coming in 2025, our primary focus is to improve and adapt to the needs of our members and the industry in general, right? It's already been mentioned by our board, right? We want to hear from you. We take those comments seriously, and for us specifically in membership, communication, surveys, and process improvements, right? I love the slide that was used here for loading. I think I'm going to get a t-shirt of that says membership and have that image at the bottom, because that's really our intention for the coming year. And with communication, that's really what we want, more consistent and informative information from our team to all of you. Surveys that are coming up, so please participate, give us that feedback and those comments we want to hear. As of now, we do have newsletters, bulletins, and other special email campaigns that go out, but we want to do more. And the last thing is process improvements. Focus on implementing efficiency and more user-friendly tools, right? So that's what we have planned for next year, and again, that will be shaped by the comments and suggestions and everything else that we hear from you. I'm the first of 3 of these sessions that will occur today and tomorrow. Each of our directors will come up and present exams in CPD and then professional conduct team. And for now, I want to thank you very much, and I look forward to our continued collaboration with you all. If you see me around, please stop and say hello. I would love to meet as many of you as possible.